the Nigerian workers have announced February 4, 2025 as a date to embark on a nationwide protest against the 50% telecommunications services tariff hike in the country. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday. This comes as the Nigerian Communications Commission on January 20, 2025 announced the approval for telecom companies to hike services tariffs by 50%. The approval has sparked a wide tide of rejection by Nigerians, including the NLC. In an update to press home their opposition against the telecom tariff hike, the NLC vowed to shut down the country through a nationwide protest. ATN reported that the nationwide protest was agreed on at the ongoing National Administrative Council of the Labour Union. The protest aims at sounding a note of warning to the government that workers would resist the planned hike as it would worsen the poverty level across the country. Recall that NLC had rejected the 50% telecommunications tariff approved by the federal government through the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC). Barrister Ferdinand, I'm aware you are conversant with this telecom crisis that has been going on for some period of time, that NSC and NCC have from the approval of the federal government, that NCC has decided to increase the tariff hike to 50%, and the NLC has been one of the Nigerian body that has been speaking against this. But I'd love to get your thoughts. Do you stand with NLC to actually protest over this issue, or you think it is necessary because of the situation of the country? That is the reason, because NCC have actually given their reasons that due to the inflation rate and everything, this is why they had to increase the tariff hike by 50%.
It's actually an issue that you don't have to look on a narrow context. One of the gains of this republic is the revolution in the telecom industry, and I think that's because it is a sector that has been deregulated under the Obasanjo administration, where you have and where the telecom industry is allowed to flourish on the strength of the market economy, where the competition, and drive for profit, drove the industry. So it is not the NCC. I don't think it's the NCC that is fixing the price. I think the NCC is allowing it as a regulator.
Through the federal government.
Of course, now NCC, the federal government, responsible, the arm of the federal government responsible for regulating the communication industry in Nigeria. So because of the obvious inflationary trend and impact on their production and services, of course, being rendered, the telecom industries naturally we want to reflect an increase in the cost of their products and services. But since they want to do it in a very massive scale, they need the approval of the government to enable them to do so. That is where the NCC comes in as a regulator, to allow them to do what they should do, because these people, they are business people. So, and everybody will agree that cost of production, cost of things have skyrocketed. These people run on diesel, they pay their staffs, they incur debts to produce and give us these services, the telecom services, the data. I mean, the revolution in telecom industry is amazing. Now we are talking about 5G. We are doing a lot of things. People now stream mobile apps because of the level of advancement that we've seen in the telecom industry. Definitely must be capital intensive and serious investment. So these people are not there to make to just serve you. They're there to make profit. So they're entitled to also reflect the impact of the inflation on their products. Okay, but it is about balancing these equities, where the investors are entitled, the business people who own and manage and run these telecom services are entitled to return on their investment. The citizens too, who have suffered enough too, should also they also deserve the protection of government. That is why I was thinking that there should have been more dialogue between the telecom industry, and the NCC, and the organized private sector, or maybe the NLC. There should have been, so that the NLC, I'm sure they are human beings. They would have understood, and they would have been maybe. And I wonder why government cannot even maybe come in and play some major roles, like if it's a small something of a way, by way of subsidy, to subsidize this thing in a way that the increase doesn't have to be this 50%. But 50% is outrageous. The gains made from the wage increment, the new minimum wage, has almost been eroded by the cost of transportation and cost of almost everything. I want to add this into on the docket of this hardship in Nigeria. So I think it's too much for the workers. So we I think the denominator here should be the federal government, who I believe who have not actually offered anything to protect their citizens, while they are also trying to make sure that the telecom business continue to blossom. Okay,
you've mentioned the government.
Yes.
Oftentimes, since this whole telecom crisis has been going on, the government has not really made a statement concerning this. How to, or probably have a conversation with NLC, because NLC have actually come up to say we will not agree to this. But since they are not saying that, there has not been any voice or any words from the government. That's why they decided to embark on this strike. Do you think, this protest, I'm sorry, do you think there is a motive from the government to, I know you've made mention of high rates of diesel, paying of salaries and whatnot. That is why most of this telecom decided to increase their tariff to 50%. Do you think there could be another motive why the federal government have been silent over this?
Well, I wouldn't see it as a motive. I just see it as government's, the present government's character of being responsive to the plight and being sensitive to the plight of their own citizens, and not necessarily motive on their part. Because
so did you say sensitive or insensitive?
Being insensitive to the plight of their citizens. Because, like I said, what did government bring to the table? You must understand, on the part of the telecom industry, you must understand the reality.
They are also affected.
Everything has gone up by the policy of the government. Everything has gone up on all sectors of the economy. The telecom industry could never have been isolated from the effects of this crushing hardship that economy. So they are making expenses, and this since you remember how much we used to buy bread in 2023, and bakery owners, you can't tell them to be selling the bread at the same amount. Same is in almost everything. It's this telecom sector. It also has to. So in fairness to that industry, there is need for them to also augment and make their profit, if not to, so that we continue to enjoy these services that we enjoy, even though it has not been 100%.
Yeah.
But I can assure you that the experience we've gotten in the telecom industry is far, if you like, compared to what we have gotten in electricity in the energy sector.
Yes.
And so yes, government has tried to say they are deregulating or concessioning the energy sector, the electricity and all that. We'll see how it is. I'm sure it's being powered by generator. But in this telecom industry is where the government appear to have done well by removing that monopoly of government and abandoning or making to do away with having to do away with Nitel, and then allowing these private individuals to put in their money and make profit. And if you don't allow them to making this profit, trust me, the business is going to go down. And when business go down, the services will drop. Nigerians will still suffer it. You will see a situation where you will not be able to make call and all of that. What they do, all these will do to make sure that we continue to enjoy telecom services, data, voice call, and all of that. It's capital. They have to put in so much money.
So you're in a sense,
they must make the gain.
You're not. Are you against this protest that wants to come up now? Well, you have listed all these reasons.
Well, to the extent, you know, when Labour came in initially, they said they are going to boycott they're going to boycott the services, and I said that is impracticable. Okay, how are you going to do that? You're going to tell me to turn off my phone. That's not what you're going to do. Imagine you not having to turn off your phone, not having
24 hours
for a week. How are you going to do that? Nobody will tell you to.
You listen. A week is a very long period of time. 24 hours.
Okay, so it is impracticable. So nothing. The only person that can actually help out here would have been the government through the NCC. So, like I said, the government is not responsible enough for their own people. Okay. If they were, they would have had this engagement with the organized labor and the organized private sector to see how, yes, there's need for this increment to be, but this is where government can come in to ameliorate the effect, to cushion the additional hardship that will be added to Nigerians. But I didn't see that. I was expecting the government to say, okay, to support, because I know this telecom industries, they run most of their mass, they power most of their mass with diesel, and they have to buy this diesel as the same amount. How about government say, okay, we're going to give you this diesel, government will supply diesel directly, either through an NPC or something, to all the telecom operators, their generators, generating set and all of that, to see if that can help them not to increase. Or anyhow for government to come in, or give them grants, something to sustain so that they can, until the economy picks up, until people begin to recover from all the other sectoral hardships before going on to increase this. And that's why the government, there's complete failure on the part of government to come in to see what they can do to cushion the federal and just allowing them to go ahead and increase. Yes, should they be allowed to increase? Yes, they have to increase their tariff, but this could have been prevented if government had come in by way of some kind of subsidy that necessarily may not require them giving them paying subsidy for our calls or our text messages, but giving these people either some form of grant or some in form of a diesel or energy supply to help them run and manage their expenses.
Okay, thank you.